All right. I decided to come back for one more. Um, Took a phone call, got to reconnect with a friend, and I realized I got to stop and smell the whiskey, smell the roses, do whatever you need. Welcome back to Important Decisions. My name's Jason. I appreciate you being here, watching my videos. It's absolute nonsense that I sit here and I talk to this camera, thinking I'm talking to somebody on the other side, wondering if I can make a connection. It's hard to do this solo, so I appreciate your patience with me. Um, My previous episode, I just did a review of Elijah Craig 15, and I thought I'd bring out a bottle that I feel very lucky to have gotten. And I've seen some reviews on it. I've seen some mixed stuff about it, but I've been impressed with it. And that is the Heaven Hill 22. And you can tell I've been getting down. There's a bit of that juice gone. Um, Got to share that with some really good friends recently. And so I thought I'd get on here and review it since, you know, Heaven Hill product, 22 years old. And this is probably absent of a few other blended batches that I have of stuff. This is probably the oldest age statement I have from a major distillery. Um, you get into this nose, and if you can see that color on these, it's a little different, but there's an oiliness to it. There's this ring all the way around the glass here. And these bottles got released. I think out there right now they're just north of $300. If you can get your hands on one secondary, motherfuckers are still charging like maybe 850. Um, so go out and try it. You may not like it because there's some notes that come off on this that'll have you kind of step back a little bit. Not in a bad way. It's just it brings power. Um, I've been letting this one sit here just for a few minutes. And when I get into this, man, the notes on this, it's deeper and it's richer than the Elijah Craig 15. I think it brings more. Um, there's a fair amount of oak in there. Um, some really deep caramel. Um, you're always going to kind of get some of the vanilla notes, but kind of a nuttiness, um, which maybe is why I like this. Yeah, a lot of my friends know that I'm a huge Booker's fan, Little Book. And there's a nuttiness that comes with that. And I think as we get higher up in this age, at 22 years old, that's what you're going to get here as well. And so this right here, just really, oh boy, it's full bodied. Like it will overwhelm your senses. And sometimes I step back from it, but it's there, and you're in for something special. Mm. So for those y'all that don't know, this is a little hug from it. Bring this bottle back out. So this mash bill, I believe, was at 79% corn or 78% corn. You got your rye and then your malted barley, 129 proof, and you know, overwhelmed with this one. The mouth feel on this, it's viscous. It just boom. It's like I'm here to party, and it hits you, and there's a sweetness to it with that kind of a not a maple syrup, maybe thicker molasses. You definitely get that butterscotch. You get some of that toffee. Um, man, but then as you finish it, it's just like, okay, there's the business side of it. And I say business because I think leather and I think like a leather bound briefcase. Oh wow. And that hug hits you, just kind of coats the throat, but it's not overwhelming, it's not burning, but it's just got body and it's got layers to it. Um, and it stays in there and it's strong. So you still kind of get the spice, you get some of that chocolate. It is honestly, there's an oak bomb going off for sure. Again, I think it's impossible not to get that unless you proof it way down. But because we're getting this at 129 proof, I think a lot of those characteristics as it's coming out of the barrel are staying present. And I think for many of us, that's what we want. Elijah Craig 18 got proof down to, what was that, 90? Whereas the 15, they kept it up at 108. Now you got this big old bastard coming in at 129, and I just don't see how you can put it down. Like this bottle is going way too fast for what it's valued at. Um, and I just think that's just speaks volumes to what they're doing at Heaven Hill. So I got fortunate that I was able to get this one at MSRP. Very, very lucky. It'll be a bottle that I'll kind of tuck away now that some of my the newness has, I don't want to say worn off, but it's worn off. It's what I guess what it really is. Um, this is just one that I think it's a win, and if you can get a pour of it, um, I encourage you to do so because you don't want to take a flyer on the $300 bottle. Um, Distill America took place this past weekend, and Heaven Hill was there, and this was one of their pours for the VIP section. And they also had the Elijah Craig 15, and I think the Evan Williams single barrels that were at like 107 proof for the 250th of the of America. And the line was huge for this, and I know why, because it is that darn good. Um, I think you'll enjoy it. Give it a shot, find it. Um, I wouldn't pay the 875 or 850 that people are charging. Don't encourage the secondary market like that. Make friends with somebody that has one. Show up to a bottle share with a really good bottle, and maybe they'll share that bottle because that's what it's ultimately about. You make the right decisions on who you're going to hang out with. You make sure that you show up to a bottle share with something of equal quality. If you're going to go and ask somebody to drink their Heaven Hill 22, well, you don't show up with the benchmark. You don't show up with just an Elijah Craig barrel proof, or you don't show up with, you know, a Weller antique. You got to bring something else that's going to, counterpunch what you're asking somebody else to share. So I appreciate you jumping on, watching. I'm going to keep this one short as well. Please like and subscribe my channel. Do it on the Facebook page, Important Decisions. I am POURTANT Decisions. And I will say this, I don't have a lot of subscribers. I don't have a big following because I'm not so great at the social media publications. But that being said, we get to 100 subscribers. No, I'm going to say 150 subscribers. I'll give a bottle away. And it'll be a bottle that many people seek. It's not a unicorn, but it's a total tater bottle. I'm not, but as we hit another milestone, maybe we get to 300, maybe 500, maybe I'll give away something better. I'm not buying your love, but I'll pay for you to stay close. Have a great night. Remember, hit the like, hit the subscribe. This is Important Decisions. Peace.